It goes without saying that life doesn't always go according to plan when flying, and today we'll experience exactly that. We're flying American Airlines with their Embraer ERJ-175 from Dallas-Fort Worth to Tulsa International Airport in first class. I'm stoked for this, and I hope you are as well. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started, everybody. Welcome to Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport on this beautiful April morning. My original plan was to fly the 8:30 a.m. departure on an American Airlines Boeing 737-800. Well, that's until I arrived at the TSA line, that is. This one the busiest TSA lines I've ever seen with over a 30-minute wait. I arrived at DFW an hour and a half prior to my scheduled departure time, which of course isn't recommended, but I've never had a problem prior to this experience. Luckily, I was able to cancel my return flight and get a flight voucher before it was too late. I'll explain how I got my replacement flight shortly, but first, I want to recognize how beneficial of a lesson this was during this process, as I was able to discover that most airports share their security wait times on their websites. In addition, I found out that the checkpoint I was at, C10, was the busiest one at the airport at that time. I was so happy to learn about these security wait times, as I've been able to use them effectively to maximize my time at various places in the United States. In addition, this was my last scroll with the normal TSA lines, as I didn't have TSA pre-check, and that line was less than 5 minutes on this day. I was able to get TSA pre-check the following month, and we'll see how effective that service is in upcoming videos. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and get through this insane security line and get on our way home to Tulsa shortly. When booking this new flight, first class was 15,000 miles, which I thought was a very fair deal 2 hours prior to departure time. With economy at 10,000 miles, I thought this was a very justifiable upgrade considering that I wasn't flying as much as I do now at the time. With all this established, I'm stoked for my first ERJ-175 ride in first class and looking forward to this adventure. So let's go ahead and head over to our gate, everybody. Welcome to Gate B28, where we'll find this American Eagle operated by Envoy Air Embraer ERJ-175, registered November 226 November. This example is around 7 years old and will be an exciting ride on our way to TUL. Boarding will begin shortly, and we have no time to waste with our priority boarding. So let's go ahead and get on board, everybody. Welcome to Seat 1A on this Embraer ERJ-175 in first class. An incredible amount of legroom can be accompanied by a comfortable seat. Let's take a look around. And here we go for the pushback, everybody. Be sure to stay on the lookout for the full pushback videos that'll be coming out very soon. Alrighty, everybody, so unfortunately I have some pretty sad news here. So what ended up happening was, with the takeoff video, I ended up cropping that down for Plane Spotter DK to put on an Instagram post, and unfortunately I somehow did not remember to revert it to its original length, and I already imported it onto my hard drive and deleted it off my phone. So it's a 15-second clip, which I'm so frustrated about. Unfortunately, since it was airdropped, there's no way to fix that to my knowledge, which is really sad. So luckily I do have this clip here to show you, so I will show you that. The takeoff was so awesome too, which is really sad, but if I had every takeoff that I've ever been on, I would be rich, right? So it happens to the best of us. But the good news is I do have a really cool 4-minute bank out clip, so I'll show you a really good portion of that, and then we'll climb up to our cruising to 21,000 feet. So it happens to the best of us, but hey, we'll get to see a landing here coming up. So let's go ahead and look at this takeoff short clip and then the bank out as well. So I hope you all enjoy this. Let's go ahead and get our takeoff going on 17 right.
you are not an Advantage member, you can sign up at aa.com for miles for today's flight. And while you are seated, please keep your seatbelt fastened and visible to the crew, even when the seatbelt sign is off.
I certainly thought this dog was worth highlighting here in row 1. As you can see, everybody can relate to this at some point, so very glad to get to capture that right there. To start off our first class seat assessment, so let's go ahead and highlight this, everybody. So first and foremost, as you can see, row 1, the big advantage is that you can stretch out as far as you want to. The legroom is incredible, so that's absolutely awesome, to say the least right there. The overhead panels look good, along with both armrests look really nice, so glad to see that right there. Unfortunately, the recline was a little bit less than what I expected, but still pretty good, so not complaining at all. Just thought it would be a little bit more for the circumstances, so thought that was worth noting for anybody curious on that. And here comes the tray table out of the right armrest. So it does have 2 configurations, which is quite nice. The square looks good over here on the right if you just want a drink or just a little snack. And then of course you can stretch it out here for a full meal as well. Unfortunately, I'm not sure why, but the design kind of flawed right there. You can see where it kind of leans on the armrest and it's a little bit wobbly because of that. So that's a little unfortunate, but I've seen worse, so not complaining too much with that right there. It does move forward and back, and as you can see, even if you move it forward, it still has that issue. So it is what it is. It's not the end of the world, but you can see, I would imagine that it could be pretty frustrating eating a full meal on there and not be wobbling back and forth like that. So could have been better, yes. Could be worse, absolutely. So certainly still very grateful for the big tray table compared to economy class, as we absolutely love to see that. Which will take us into seatback contents with the ERJ-175 safety card. That looks quite nice right there. Really good illustrations, and overall they do a good job with their safety cards, so love to see that for American. The in-flight entertainment and information for April of 2023, and lastly the air sickness bag. The service was certainly sufficient, as you can see right here, as I got multiple drink offers along with various snacks, which I thought was really nice for this really short 40-minute flight. So a great job by Envoy and American Eagle for getting after it in that department. Overall, I was super satisfied with that. And then for the rest of the flight, I spent some time looking out the window at some various views. We flew over a couple cities, and overall there was some really nice views and some nice clouds to accompany that. So that was really cool, and looked at some of my pictures from that morning as well. So this flight was an absolute blast. I'm super sorry that takeoff footage, that was completely on me for not getting that crop back. I usually do it all the time. That was the first time I've ever lost a takeoff to my knowledge, so very unfortunate. What can you do about it? You just have to kind of roll on, and luckily I have many more takeoffs coming for you all, so definitely stay on the lookout for that as well. But overall, this is a very high demand route, and of course during multiple sectors of the day during various seasons, American will fly a variety of aircraft types, all the way down to the CRJ-700 and all the way up to the Airbus A321 now, which has been really cool. So feel free to check out some of my previous trip reports if you want more detail about the Tulsa Dallas route on American Airlines. It is a pivotal asset for Tulsa International Airport, and really glad to finally get to knock out my first ERJ-175. And as of for the American Eagle Embraer ERJ-175 fleet, the airline operates over 100 across 3 subsidiaries. Their wholly owned subsidiary Envoy Air, featured in this video, Republic Airways, and SkyWest Airways. It's also worth noting that the majority of these aircraft operate out of all their hubs for the most part, so that's really cool across the 3 companies. And it varies for the product, but the majority of them are good. Most of them are pretty new, especially for Envoy and SkyWest. Some of the Republic ones are a little bit older with the normal winglets you're going to see, but overall the product is still good on those for the most part. And it's also worth noting lastly that the ERJ-170 has been making its rounds in the American Eagle fleet as well, as Envoy's been taking on quite a few of those as they've been getting secondhand ones and so on. So overall looking really good, and we'll get back into the assessment that we were just talking about. As I mentioned early in the video, this was my desired flight, but unfortunately due to the cost when I was booking initially, I decided to go with the 737. But nevertheless, this ended up all happening for a reason, and I'm certainly very glad that we got to knock out our first American ERJ-175 in quite the style as well. But this seat was really good. Absolutely would take it across for 3 or 4 hours across the United States. Outside that, a little bit of recline and tray table, this is a really great seat, and I certainly am very pleased with it. I would give it a very solid 9 out of 10. They did a really good job on it for the most part. So nevertheless, we cruised at 21,000 feet. Not too much else to depict there, but nevertheless, let's get it ready for our landing here at Tulsa International Airport. So as per usual, we'll be landing on runway 18 left today, as we'll be flying downwind west of Tulsa International Airport before making our right turns to line up for runway 18 left. So let's just go ahead and jump straight into the conclusion. So overall, I thought American Airlines did a really great job with this flight. Thank you, American, for having very reasonable reasonable prior cancellation fees. As I stated earlier, I was able to get my money back within an hour before the flight departing, so personally I would consider that a huge win considering the circumstances. The biggest takeaway is that if you fly more than 3-4 times a year, TSA pre-check is absolutely worth it. I would not pass on that, especially if you live in a big airport or in a big city with a big airport. It is so worth having it. And even out of Tulsa International Airport, I mean, I fly a bunch, so it would not make sense not to have it. But for me, it's been absolutely game-changing, and definitely check out those security wait times on airports' websites. Those are huge and really give you a good idea as of to what your wait time is going to be. And most of the airports actually give you a difference between normal general security line and a TSA pre-check line, so that's really important to follow, and that's saved me so many times at big airports like Atlanta, Miami, and others, so that's been really fun. Also, TSA pre-check is super convenient with regards to not having to take off your belt, not having to take off your sweatshirt, not having to take your laptop out of your bag, and so many perks that just make it so convenient. I've lived through that TSA pre-check line at Tulsa within 2 minutes, probably 10 times. It's been quite nice. So I can't recommend it enough for $20 a year over 5 years for most people. It is quite awesome, and it is seriously super, super fun. And with regards to American, they did a great job on today's flight. Overall, I had an absolute blast experiencing the ERJ-175 for the first time. First time flying Envoy in a very long time too, and overall their service for this duration of flight was very sufficient. The plane was very clean, and overall it just felt right at home. So overall, I really enjoyed this flight, had an absolute blast, and absolutely would love to fly an Envoy 175 again in the near future. Looking very forward to it, and excited to stack this up with more ERJ-175s here in the near future. So feel free to stay on the lookout for all those in-flight videos that will be coming out very soon, and along with all the additional videos that will be coming for the Dallas Airline Collectibles show trip, and of course we'll be moving into our next trip very soon too, so stay on the lookout for all that. But nevertheless, here's our landing on the runway 18 left at Tulsa International Airport. I really hope you all enjoyed this. And welcome to Tulsa International Airport, everybody. We'll have a relatively short taxi over to the Alpha Gates today, so let's go ahead and head on over there. Thank you all so much for watching this trip report on this American Eagle operated by Envoy Air Embraer ERJ-175 from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport to Tulsa International Airport. Be sure to stay on the lookout for all the in-flight videos that will be coming out very soon from this trip, upcoming trip reports on various other trips, along with other aviation-related videos to come on my channel. But nevertheless, that'll do it for today's video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. My name is Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do what you love and love what you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.